Welcome, Rebels. My name is Ashley. I will be guiding you through this half an hour yin yoga sequence. Yin is a slower paced yoga practice that is a counter to a vinyasa style, which is faster paced, getting the heart rate up. The purpose of yin is to help us really slow down, tune into the breath, tune into what's happening into the body, and help us release any stress or tension that's located deep within the fascia of our bodies. Today, as always, you are welcome to use a pillow if that's available to you. You can practice on a mat or a towel, just any warm, comfy space. I invite you to use a blanket and blocks, or potentially books if blocks are not available to you. All of these are options. The most important thing is that you're here. You've chosen to take the next half an hour to be here for yourself. So let's go ahead and begin. Sitting up nice and tall, you may wish to sit on a blanket just to create a little extra cushion for yourselves, rolling the shoulders up and back, placing the palms face up for receiving energy, or palms face down for grounding if you've had a really busy week and you feel like you just need to really relax into your body and tune out other things happening. Whatever works for you. Close the eyes down, gently tuck the chin into the chest, constricting the throat. Drop the tongue away from the roof of the mouth and begin breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, creating this wave-like rhythm to the breath that also helps us regulate the central nervous system. Breathing in and out. Beginning again, breathing in and out. Settling into the body, letting things melt and drop down. Recognizing that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, right here, right now. Sticking with the breath, sitting up a little bit taller. Three more rounds of breath here, stick with it. Focusing in a little bit more on the hips today, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. One more round of breath. Gently come on to the knees. You may want to continue to use a blanket for extra support. Option also to fold the mat. That works for some gentle support as well. If your knees are extra sensitive today, you can fold and use a blanket. You know your body better than anyone else, so make sure you listen to it. Beginning by coming into a dragon pose, taking an inhale breath. And then exhale, gently placing the sole of the left foot down into the mat using the blocks or books if those are available to you. And then gently walking the left foot all the way out to the left. So ultimately, we're bending into this left knee. Ankle is lined up into that nice 90-degree angle, and then slowly begin to peel the left foot off the mat so that the blade edge of the foot is pressing in Taking an inhale, elongating through the spine, and then exhale, slowly lowering down to the hands or the forearms. Extending the right leg out long, lowering down. Option of using a block to support the forearms. Also, option, always good to have options because the goal of this practice is to really get settled into the body. A pillow. So whatever you choose, choose it. And just get settled into this dragon pose. Letting the head hang heavy a little bit. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the nose. As we deepen into the hips and into the breath, the intention that I offer you today is presence. How can we be present and in the moment? One of the best things that can help us do that is closing the eyes down if that feels good. Focusing on the texture of the things that your body is making contact with. Whether that's the coolness of the mat, the blanket, the pillow, settling in, breathing for 5 more rounds of breath. Coming back to that oceanic or rhythmic breath, breathing in, breathing out, being here in the moment, breathing in, breathing out. Working a lot on our hips today. Hips are the largest set of joints in the body. They're this midpoint between our upper body and our lower body. They tend to hold on to a lot of emotions, so keep breathing through anything that might be rising up. Wonderful job. 1 more round of breath here. And gently prop yourselves up, continuing to use the pillow, sliding the right knee in just a little bit, and then gently placing the left hand on the inside of the left thigh or shin, just making sure we're not putting any pressure on our knees. Our knees are so precious. Opening up and gently turning the body to the left for a winged dragon. We won't be here for too long, but working on continuing to open up that hip just a little bit more. Also working on that neck flexibility. These gentle twists are so excellent for detoxifying the body. Keep breathing. 3 more rounds of breath here. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Be in the moment. Be present. Breathing it in. And out. 1 more. Bringing it in. And out. Gently toe healing that left foot all the way over to the right so that the left ankle is over to the right. The left knee is pointing out, checking back to extend that right leg a little bit longer. Inhaling, lifting up, nice counter pose. And then exhale, slowly lower all the way down, coming into a sleeping pigeon pose. If your hips are really tight, you can choose, which most people's are, so don't feel like it's just you. You can place a blanket underneath the hip, or a block, or a book, whatever feels good to you, and just settle in. Feeling the rise and fall of the lungs, shoulders away from the ears, feeling the support of the earth. Making contact with everything around you. And noticing, breathing in. And out. 5 more rounds of breath here. Feeling the connection to your body, the connection to the breath, breathing it in. And out. The next inhale, slowly rise up. Tucking the right toes under. Slowly lifting the right knee up, sending the left foot back, being careful of the props. And just take 3 rounds of breath in a gentle downward dog. Option to also drop the knees into a tabletop. We want to do this downward facing dog as a transition pose just to make sure we're releasing any tension in the hips. Pedaling the legs out, right, left, swaying the body back and forth. 1 more round of breath here. And then gently drop the knees down to the earth. Bring the toes to touch. And slowly send the hips back to meet the heels. Pressing our head gently into the pillow for a child pose. Just so we work a little bit on our neck flexibility, gently take the left cheek and place it on the pillow. Settling in here for 5 rounds of breath before we transition into dragon on the opposite side. Breathing it in, breathing it out. A block is always an option underneath the hips as well, or a book. If you're feeling extra tight, either way, settle in. 3 more rounds of breath here. Wonderful job. Inhale, slowly rise up. Gently bending or keeping the bend in that left knee. Feeling steady there. Inhale, extend that right foot out to the edge of the mat. Taking a breath in, extending that neck long. And then gently peeling the foot off of the mat until the right blade edge of the foot is grounding, extending that left leg long, and then slowly lowering down into that dragon pose, using a pillow or a block. One hip is always tighter than the other. So do what you need to do. Your body knows best. Today, obviously my right hip is quite a bit tighter than the left. Getting settled in here. Extending that left leg back just a little bit more. Focusing on being here, being present. What can we release here? If your hips are really talking to you, you can always back off the posture a little bit by coming back up to the hands. So doing whatever feels good to you in the body. Taking 3 more rounds of breath here, breathing it in, breathing it out. Fantastic job. Finding some stability in that left hand. Gently place the right hand on the inside of the right thigh or the shin, calf. Slowly pushing that leg away. Being sure to protect the knees. Taking that very, very gentle twist, looking over that right shoulder this time. Noticing the difference. If you would like, you can drop down to the left forearm. Just doing whatever feels good to you. That body always tells us what it needs. We just don't always listen to it. Only here for a short time. 3 more rounds of breath. Breathing it in and out. I know this can be a very challenging pose, but stick with it. The benefits of consistently working on the hips outweigh a small amount of discomfort. 1 more breath. Slowly begin to place both hands down on the mat. Gently walk that right foot over to the left. Placing the shin down on the mat. Extend that left leg long. Make sure it's nice and straight. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, lower all the way down to the pillow, to the block, to the earth, into sleeping pigeon on the right. Settling in, breathing in, and out. This is the last big hip stretch of our sequence, so just stick with it. You got this. More rounds of breath. Gently peel yourself off the mat, placing the palms down, tucking the left toes under, gently lifting the heels and the hips up and back, downward facing dog. The release is worth that discomfort. Pedaling out the legs. Rocking the head back and forth from side to side. Yesing and knowing what's happening in the neck. And then gently lower the knees down to the earth. Bring those big toes to touch or around the block. Slowly set those hips back. Extend the forehead down. Into a child's pose. This time you always want to make sure that we're protecting that head and neck and stretching both sides. Place the right cheek down on the mat. Gentle twist. Noticing the right side and the left side. What is the difference? Can you settle in just a little bit more? Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Feeling the support of the earth, the pillow. Most importantly, the support of your breath. Reminder that any of these poses can be held for longer periods of time. You are also welcome to pause the video at any time and just hold the pose. So maybe today, if it's been a challenging time, you just stay in child's pose and place one side of the head on the pillow and then take 10 breaths and then place the other side of the head on the pillow. So take what you need during this practice. 3 more rounds of breath in child's pose, breathing it in and out.
Feeling that expansion between the shoulder blades, feeling the connection to the earth, feeling the low back open up, hips open up, gentle stretch across the tops of the ankles. One more inhale. Slowly begin to come forward, placing the block off to the side, slowly lowering all the way down, extending the hands out to the edges of the mat, and then begin peeling the arms off the mat, fingertips pointing out into a V, lifting up just slightly, looking straight ahead, coming into a seal pose. Just a nice little counter stretch for all the hip openers we've done. Nice gentle back bend, heart opener, breathing it in, breathing it out, hold it here, 2 more breaths, you got this, breathing it in, and out, be here. Be present, what can you notice? What can you feel? Slowly lower all the way down, all the way down. You can keep the pillow close by if that feels good, if that's bringing you comfort. Using the hands, crossing those forearms, placing the forehead down in the mat, or the chin here, whatever feels good to the neck. Lift the legs up, flexing through the feet, gently windshield wiper the legs back and forth, just releasing any tension or pressure in the hips. And then begin to slowly lower the legs all the way down. Extending that left leg long. You may want to use the pillow or the blanket in a different way this time. Slide that right knee out to the right, coming into a half frog. So our leg is making a nice 90-degree angle, letting the foot be nice and floppy. Using the pillow if that feels good to you. Inhaling, lift up just a little bit, and then exhale, slowly lower it down. Chin comes to the pillow, or you may choose to take the right cheek over to the left for an extra gentle twist. Getting settled into half frog, breathing in, breathing out. 5 rounds of breath here, breathing it in. What can you notice right here, right now? One more round of breath for good measure, breathe it in. And out, gently bring the head back to neutral. Slide the right leg out to meet the left. Swap the blanket out. If you're using that, lift both shins up, windshield wiper back and forth. And then extending the right leg long, gently slide the left knee over to the left. Forehead can plant, or take the left cheek over to the right, settling in. 5 rounds of breath in half frog. Half frog is an excellent option of pose to get into if you're having a hard time falling asleep, or if you have a hard time staying asleep, which is something I can definitely identify with. Coming into this gentle half frog posture or a child's pose, all of those can help us regulate our central nervous system, slow our heart rate down, and help us relax. 2 more rounds of breath here. One more for good measure. Slide that left knee to meet the right. Inhale those legs up. Just very gently windshield wipering the legs back and forth, releasing any gentle pressure. And then slowly lowering everything down. Inhale, press up one more time, bringing the big toes to touch. Pressing back once more into a child's pose. Feeling that support, that grounding, that safe harbor that child's pose helps us create. Slowly begin to extend the legs back long, coming onto the belly. Option for the final pose to be a reverse savasana, so staying on the belly. Or if you would like to open up a little bit more after all of those big hip openers, you can very gently roll on to your back. Coming into savasana, option to use the pillow underneath the knees for support. Grabbing that blanket, getting nice and comfy. There we go. Gotta get the feet covered up. And then slowly, whatever final posture you chose for yourself, let it all just melt out, taking up space for yourself, reconnecting with the breath, closing the eyes back down if you open them, taking rest, being here, being now. Yourself melt down a little bit more. You can choose to stay in savasana as long as you'd like. When you're ready to end the practice, gently roll over onto the right or left side, using your bottom arm as a pillow. Taking 3 rounds of breath here, reconnecting. Thanking yourself for taking the time to spend time with yourself, with your body, with your breath. Slowly rise up, being ever so gentle with yourselves. Coming into a seated position just as we began. Bringing your creature comfy items with you. Taking a big breath in and a big breath out. Bringing the hands to heart center, breathing it in and out. Bowing gently to seal the practice. The light in me honors, respects, and appreciates the light in you. Have an absolutely beautiful evening. Namaste. Thank you so much, Rebels, for a beautiful practice. My name is Ashley. If you would ever like to join me in person, I teach a Rise and Shine Vinyasa yoga class on Wednesdays from 6:15 to 7 a.m. and a Vin Yin class on Thursdays from 5:30 to 6:30. As always, please take care of yourselves. Thank you so much for joining.